Out of all the years I've had the pleasure of working with over 100 trades businesses now, you tend to pick up on a few things that really separate the successful business owners and the ones that make the most out of their business and their personal life, and the ones that make the least amount and are the least successful when it comes to both business and life. And what I wanted to more or less outline in this video is showcasing some of the similarities I've seen over the years and how you could apply that to yourself if you're watching this and you genuinely want to scale your business and you really want to just take life by the balls. So one of the things that has really made a big impact on businesses that were successful were the ones that had the genuine drive to actually grow a successful business. And you might be watching this and telling yourself that, yes, I have the drive, I can do this, like I just want it more than anything. But sometimes if you look at your past and what you've been doing over the past 3 years, let's just say you've been in business for 3 years now and the whole time you've been doing 50K per month. It's at some point you have to ask yourself, why are you still doing 50K a month? And I can guarantee you the reason is because you can't get more than 50K a month, because you most certainly can. It is not impossible. But it's because something in your mind has blocked you and prevented you from doing so. Now, that could be a whole number of things, but it is nothing to do with business. So even if you've been burned by a bunch of agencies, or you've tried this solution, or you've tried to generate leads this way, you've tried everything, right? There is still something that has prevented you from actually growing your business. Yes, you might have been burned. Yes, you might have made a few bad investments, but that shouldn't put you off from actually growing your business, because even with a few bad investments, I've made bad investments, everyone's made bad investments. That's just business, right? So you need to figure out what in your mind is actually stopping you from growing your business. So the ones that have been super successful are the ones that just want to grow, and there is almost nothing, no matter how negative their personal life might be or negative anything in their life might be, they still want to grow. So they have that genuine drive. And what I've noticed with the unsuccessful ones, the ones who said they have the drive, so you hop on a call, they say, yeah, I want to do this, this, and this, no problem, sweet, they sign the agreement, they pay, we start doing the marketing, and after like 1 or 2 months, then they realize, can we turn this off because it's too much? That right there, being too much, is how do you scale the business if you're just going to say it's too much? That's the whole point of scaling, right? You want to actually get too much, and then once you have that too much of leads, you've got too much business, now you start implementing new systems in order to scale. That's how you scale. More work in, you find a way to do more of the work, you make more money, and then you reinvest that money into scaling again. Rinse and repeat, pretty simple cycle. But we've had plenty of business owners that just want to step back. They don't want to grow as much as they thought they want to grow. So there's been a few times where unfortunately people have dropped off because it was just too much and they couldn't handle the volume. They couldn't handle the stress. Maybe they didn't actually want the money. You never know with some people. And I just want you to think very hard about what you actually want out of both business and life, because they're two totally different things. And whatever it is for you, you really want to know, because some people are quite happy making, 50K a month, maybe even 20K a month. Maybe they don't even want employees. They just want to work by themselves and make enough of a life to support just them and their family. And I mean, you can very easily do that with just 20K a month. So if that's what you want, that's what you want. There's no harm in doing that. More or less the point of this video is to point out what makes someone successful when it comes to scaling and someone unsuccessful. Another thing is not knowing enough about your business in the core function. So what I mean by that is the most successful business owners we've had are the ones that know at least a little bit about everything in the business and how it works. So for example, most business owners we have not a clue about anything on marketing. And that's totally fine because we handle it all. That's more or less the point. We handle it so they can just focus on the business. But the ones that have been very successful and the ones that have made a lot of money, and we're talking 7 figures a month, are the ones that wanted to at least understand how it works so that they at least understood and that they could make educated decisions on what to do in the business outside of what we were handling. Those were the ones that really got things so well, and they made the most out of the investment and they scaled the furthest. They wanted to know how it worked, at least to a fundamental level. They didn't have to know every technical detail about it, but they wanted to know exactly how every part of their business worked. The ones that didn't want to know everything and couldn't care less, if they didn't care much about that, I can assure you, plenty of other things they did not care about in their business. And that's what has prevented them from scaling, because you should care about everything in the business. There's nothing in the business that is yours, it's your baby. There's nothing that you shouldn't not care about, right? Whether it comes to staff, systems, sales, marketing, leads, literally everything. You should at least want to know the basics of everything. Another thing that really got in the way of people wanting to scale the business is either ego from themselves or ego from the team. And what I mean by that is, when you have a big ego, it means you don't want to listen to other people when they might have a perfectly good idea. We've had plenty of instances where we would propose a strategy based on what's worked in the past and what's working right now, and some owners have flat out denied it, didn't want to do it, and because of that, no deal has gone through. Or let's say the deal did go through, they do it, it makes money, but they didn't like something about it because of some preference in color, or doesn't really matter. When you ask for someone's help because they're an expert, you kind of take that on, right? You take it to the chin because they know more than you and they've done it. When you let ego get in the way, especially when you have a staff member that lets ego get in the way because, let's just say, they're a manager or something and it's, their department, it can really get in the way of growth. Like, when you're a business owner, you just really have to be open-minded to all the possibilities, especially in an area that you are not 100% confident in, because as a business owner, yes, you know a lot of things, you are very capable because you're a business owner. However, there are some things where it is just worth listening to someone else's ideas, probably because they're very good at what they do, and that's why you've hired them in the first place. Another thing that's separated the really successful and unsuccessful business owners has been the drive. So we've had plenty of business owners that will only want to work Monday to Friday, and as soon as Friday at whatever time hits, they completely go off the books. You can't hear from them, you can't hear from them on a weekend, you can't hear from them ever. And that's fine and all. There should be a balance between personal and work life, but I can tell you now, the ones that are super successful are the ones that are so relentless. They just want to work, work, work. They are always working no matter what, because they want to truly build something meaningful for both their business and their life. And when you do that, you just get so much better results because you're just putting in more hours, right? So that's the final thing that's really separated the successful and unsuccessful business owners that we've worked with. If you enjoyed this video and got some value out of it, I hope you did. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.